All right, most definitely.
Fired up.
Well, welcome to the DoodleCast. Today, I'm Garrett Greivel. I do art and stuff. This is my friend Matthew Parker. He's...
AKA Brucifer.
Brucifer is the name.
I go by Bruce. What are you
Brucifer
doing?
McFidwitz.
Are you stealing my stage name? Anyway, and then this is Matilda Van Fleet.
Hello.
She's super dope. She is an artist on many fronts and many levels. And we'll actually start with her. So I want to get you guys like bios. And tell me about your art, what you do, how you do it.
I mostly make music. I also like to doodle and take photos. The photographing part usually happens when I'm walking around because I feel very sad, and then I take pictures of things and I feel better. The music part is usually because I feel sad, and then I write songs and I don't feel any less sad, but I feel like I get it.
Yeah, because it's how you process. Yeah. Most definitely.
I feel a lot of things. I'm an emotional person and I make art about it.
Awesome. And hey, Matt.
I too am an emotional person. I have a mental health blog on Instagram called anxiety_animals.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, and I do little cartoons, and they help me process and deal with my anxiety. And I write little quips about, like, for people that are struggling with mental illness or things like that, to kind of encourage and share my experience. So that's been, like, my deal that I've been doing, and yeah.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm like really happy how this worked out is both of you guys are like really strong and really awesome. And the thing is, since I'm gonna be here every week, I don't really need to do a bio. But here's my bio for you: is both of you guys are people that have been like kind of part of the family and people around me, and it's nice for it to be kind of, hey, this is solid. We're together now, so it's nice having that. Anyway, I'm just going to start us off with a little quote, just to get us in the mindset, because today we are discussing and drawing flora and fauna, because I like the world. Plants and animals are really cool. There's a lot going on right now that really fucking sucks with humans, and just wanted us all to have a break and to give other people a break, perchance. So I'm going to start with this quote. It's from the Tao. And it is, the great integrity is an endless abyss, yet it is inexhaustibly fertile, source of the universe. It blunts all sharpness, unites the entangle, unties it, and merges with the dust. Hidden but ever present, this parent of the gods. Whose child may it be? So yeah, we're talking about the other today, and feel free to talk about whatever you want about the other. Let us begin. However you want to doodle. Whatever you want to doodle. And the first question I'm going to ask you guys, this is a really stupid, really basic question. I'm sure you've been asked it like a lot before. What's your favorite animal, Matilda?
I think it depends on the day.
Yeah.
My favorite animal is usually my pup, Laika, because she's great, and I love her a lot. I tend to be into the canine realm. I love me some coyotes, some foxes, some wolves.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, tell me, Matt, what's your favorite animal?
Well, for me, I think the people that know me know that I am extremely obsessed with koalas. I have a vast collection of different stuffed koalas and puppets and knickknacks and just everything koala. I love those little fuckers. But I also really appreciate canines. I'm in the process of getting a service animal at the moment for anxiety, and I'm looking to get an Australian Shepherd, and I'm going to name it either Butter Croissant or Tater Tot.
Nice. That's exciting.
I like little floofer poofers. They're cute. Little floof nuggets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Yeah. But today I'm going to be drawing a tardigrade, like you.
Oh, yeah, because I was going to say, my favorite animal at the moment, my spirit animal is a waller seal, and they're a fun species. And it shares something in common. We were talking about this the other day. It shares something in common with the koala in that it literally it's this creature in the Waller seal. It hangs out in the Arctic Ocean under the ice, and it carves out air holes so it can breathe in the winter with its teeth, and they die really early because they're carving out ice with their teeth, so they can't fish anymore.
Right. Well,
It's
that's
like-
I was telling you this the
And
other
the
day.
koalas,
The
yeah.
koalas actually have a similar thing. So koalas, other marsupials have either rootless teeth or they regrow their teeth, or they have rows of teeth that move forward, whereas koalas are the only marsupial that don't have that, and so when they run out of teeth, they slowly die of starvation. And it's sad because I don't want to see any of those guys.
I know.
They're also dying of chlamydia, so that's also a thing. So,
Whoa.
yeah, koalas, like, I think, I don't know the exact number, but, like, a lot of koalas are infected with, like, a specific, like, version of chlamydia that affects koalas, and it's kind of sad.
Crazy. That is really sad.
They kind of have it rough. They kind of
Yeah,
have
they're
it
so
rough because
cute.
their habitat is being destroyed as well. It
Yeah.
makes me sad. If I want to adopt one, but you can't do that in the U.S.
Yeah, well, and, you know, it's like, I really love a lot of animals. I have like a super strong affinity like with bears. Like, I love them. There's something to them that's like always spoken to me, and I've always wanted to live with one. But like, I don't know, I you know, you have to recognize it's like, oh, right,
You're a wild animal.
this thing like exists in a certain way. Like, I can't alter that.
Right.
Which I have a question for both of you that like kind of relates to that, and it's this is relating to like your art or really any part of your life. Like, you could get goofy with me on this, but like, how do you use animals? Because we're starting with animals right now, but like, how do they come up in what you do?
I've had animals come up a lot in my lyrics.
Yeah.
But it's usually because, and I was kind of talking to you guys about this earlier while we were getting set up, a theme of my album is getting together with this group of people for a bit whose brand of intellectualism was not something I enjoyed very much.
Yeah.
And I just felt like there was this constant battle with them between the primal, the spiritual, and the intellectual. And so a lot of my lyrics have been trying to tackle that, like, what kind of primal things do we still share with animals?
Yeah.
What kind of primal things have we kept from our most ancient and prehistoric times? And then also, how do we suppress that now and try to kind of separate ourselves from that and try to pretend that we're not connected to that at all?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
That's like, that's a process I've kind of been going through recently too, because it's like, you know, I woke up one day and I was like, oh shit, I can be like a better person, but I have to like listen to like the world around me, you know? And part of that is like recognizing that I'm like this organism that like lives in it. So I totally like, I feel that, you know?
Yeah.
And Matt, this is really, I mean, this question, I honestly, I don't even know if I need to ask it, because it's like you're currently working on your project, Anxiety Animals, but how do you use animals? Yeah.
Well, that's actually interesting, because I think if you ask like a person on the street, they'd say I use animals for food.
Yeah,
Which
I asked a
don't-
bunch of people.
Right? Yeah, exactly. I don't. I used to be a vegan. Now I'm a vegetarian, so I guess I can't really say I don't. But I do use animals as kind of an outlet for expressing emotion, because I think there's different animals that really embody different types of emotions from people. Like, you would say like a dog is kind of like an embodiment of love.
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm happy.
Yeah, exactly. Like happiness or love, and you can have other animals that embody certain things. Like, maybe you would think of like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just like stereotypes surrounding that.
Yeah.
And I use that to express different emotions, and I'll make like funny little cartoons with puns, and that's kind of how I really use animals. I'm appropriating and exploiting the animals for my own benefit on the internet. But
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with anthropomorphizing, because it
Yeah.
kind of gets to what we were just talking about. it's like you can recognize something in yourself and something other, you know?
Right.
So like,
And like I think it gives people a way to connect more with animals. Like if you like put emotion into that, people realize like, hey, my dog actually feels things too.
yeah, and it's like, it's also great for people with like, you know, like what you're kind of addressing is like mental health issues a lot.
Right.
And I think it's really kind of great because like people aren't really allowed to like talk about those things and like the human scope and scale within our like cultural confines, you know?
Yeah.
But you can talk about it if you make it into an animal or like a fictional thing. So it's really cool, you know? I like seeing it, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
And then I have like a little follow-up question. So again, we'll start with Matilda.
Okay.
I like going counterclockwise in case you didn't notice yet. So we're talking about animals today, but we're also talking about plants because honestly that's something that I'm really passionate about. And I think we'll touch on a subject I could talk about forever in a sec, but so the same question I just asked you about animals. How do you use plants?
I'm trying to think if I've actually used plants that much in my music.
Well, it can be just like in life,
Yeah,
however, you know.
I do really love. Oh, if I were a tree, everything would be fine. I really, really do wish that if anything, I could have come to this strange little world as a tree. I think that trees are so wonderful, and I think that they're kind of the most efficient and perfect things that we have on the planet.
Most definitely.
And plus, I love how there's kind of this accidental altruism that comes from trees and the plant world in general, where they just exist and they look pretty and they're just kind of doing their thing, but they also give us oxygen. We can't exist without them. They're not even aware of how much they do for us, but getting to exist in it and look at it and take pictures of it and all this other stuff is so fulfilling for me, and it also keeps me alive.
Yeah.
Breathing is something I'm not good at right now, but something I've become quite fond of.
Yeah, most definitely. I used to have like a lot of conversations with trees where like because I'm a weird person. I'm one of those people that where like I like conversate with myself even when I'm like talking with other people, because I like rationalize things through sound, you know, because I'm like trained as a musician. That's like how I grew up. But like I used to have conversations with trees, you know, when I was really sad or upset. And it would be like a very reassuring thought and thing for me to have this recognition with a tree where it's like, oh, you're like part of me right now. I'm like drawing you in.
Yeah.
And I'm drawing you in with my eyes. And I'm hearing you with my ears when the wind passes. And like we're all kind of part of it together, you know?
Yeah.
And then I tell the tree, like, one day I'll be part of you too. I'll decompose. You'll consume me. Like, and I don't know, there's something to that. Some people think it's like really morose or like sad, but I think it's like really a beautiful thing, you know? Yeah,
I'm actually reading a book right now about how different cultures around the world perceive death. And that has to be one of my favorite parts about plant life.
Yeah.
Is that it all just kind of ends up becoming this like mush and soil and fertilizer for other stuff that grows around it. And it's just this cycle. Like plants are the perfect example of just that circle and that cycle of life. Because they really do feed off of each other.
Yeah.
And I don't think that death has to be seen as an end. Sure, it's an end of a phase, it's an end of one particular form, but it's also a chance for rebirth. It's a chance for renewal.
Well, and that's that whole like part of recognizing the other thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's because that's oh man. And Matt, we're gonna talk about something in a sec with this too. But like the thing with plants is, and I'm going to be defining a lot of terms, everybody, while we do this.
Define those terms.
Define the shit out of those terms.
Define the fuck out of that.
I learned rhetoric once. Lol. There's things in this world and people, because people are things, just like everything else. All things are matter. La la la, blah blah blah.
Right.
This isn't nihilism where I'm going with this, though.
You're Bill Nye. Everything's matter.
But, like, so there's this thing that people, it's one of these concepts that I like to think about a lot because it really applies to me directly, especially when I'm like, how do I treat people better and like be a better person? And it's recognizing that there are things in this world that like teach, they like tell, they speak, and then you get it once, right? And there are people that can do that, there are things that can do that. And the reason why I like wanted to do it both flora and fauna is because there are also things that are sages, things that do not speak it to you, you do not necessarily like receive directly, but they show you, and it's up to you to like receive it, you know? And there's some things that do both, like, of course. And the thing how I rationalize it and think about it is like animals are teachers, because there's so many animals that form social structures that people don't even like, you know, it's amazing. Like if you watch a beehive, the way they like interact and communicate with each other is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They have like air traffic control that's thousands of years ahead of ours.
Yeah.
You know, and we act like we invented it. But plants are generally, and there's some of them that like cross over because there's symbiosis between plants and animals. But I find that plants are generally like more in that sage category,
Yeah.
where like they'll show you if you watch, you know? But yeah, so back to that question, Matt.
Sorry, what?
How do you use plants?
Right. So I think a lot of people use plants, like at least where we're from, for like smoking. There's nothing wrong with that. I smoke tobacco as a way to like calm my anxiety.
Yeah.
And that's just like one way that I use plants. I mean, I like eating them, smoking them, growing them.
Yeah.
But I think there's just like different ways to use plants. I've never really been like spiritually connected to plants in a way. I'm more like introverted and in my head and my own experience rather than the experience of what's going on
most
around me.
definitely.
I'm currently trying to grow out of that, but I've never been like you as like one to talk to trees or something.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, I'm whimsical, but not that whimsical.
It's like I love animals, but I
Yeah.
honestly love plants more, you know? I'm a botany guy.
And I don't want to like have this be misinterpreted at all, but like the reason I'm so drawn to animals is like I show them affection and they show me them back, and I'm needy.
Right.
Whereas like
It's-
plants, you show them affection and they grow, but they don't exactly greet you at the door when you come home.
Well, they do, but it's so much more subtle. Like,
Right, yeah.
because it's like everything's super minute. Like, because what I like to do with like my plants is I try to find like things that are like renewable and reusable with them that are also like really healthy for them.
Right.
And my second cousin, she raises hens, and I'll just give her a little shout out, Sonia Honorado, because she's a cool person. But she raises like a consortium of hens, and she gives me eggs through my family that I like eat and consume because they're great. They're way better than anything you'll find in a store, because like it's like really clear she treats them with like a lot of love, and like they're rich, delicious, and like there's so many variations and there's diversity because she's got miniatures, reds, browns, you know, everything. But anyway, where I'm going with this, because I'm tying it back in, I guess, is I use the eggshells from those eggs as like a fertilizer base. And I want to talk to her about like collecting the guano and using it too, because I think it would be really cool for my plants.
You just got to point out I'm having trouble drawing this tardigrade mouth.
Yeah, it's
Kinda
weird.
tricky.
I started it out with like
Right.
a vertical eye shape.
Yeah.
You know, you could even because the whole thing is with the tardigrade, we like mentioned it earlier and then we haven't talked about the tardigrade since. Started off with a Tao quote, and I've been obsessed with tardigrades lately because like I knew them as a child growing up as water bears. I never knew like their genus name or anything until my girlfriend was like, hey, this is a really cool creature. Did you know that these things are like pretty much invincible? Like they can survive the vacuum of space.
Right.
They are like immune to radiation, which is why they can survive the vacuum of space. Because like, yeah, gas exchange is the thing that they say kills you in space quick if you were to say get stuck if you're an astronaut, but honestly the radiation is the thing that'll probably get you, because there's so much infinitely, I mean it's both, but
yeah, I heard it was actually like the pressure.
Yeah, it's pressure and radiation. It's like crazy, you know?
Or lack of pressure, that is.
Yeah. It's a pressure unto itself, you know?
Life is pressure. But it doesn't have to be.
No. Yeah. This is why we love the flora and fauna, as they show us that the only constant is change if we're watching. And we're standing in defiance to nothing. Like you guys know Quinn Marshman, he did like this soliloquy a couple years ago that was like on the subject. It was really, I won't quote it because I won't do it justice, but like it's something that's really stuck in my head, is this idea of we stand in defiance to nothing, you know?
Right.
It's very, very cool, which kind of segues us into, I'm sorry about the questions, guys.
No, I'm enjoying this.
But here's another question. So I asked you how you use animals and plants.
Right.
And I mean, we've kind of gotten into this a little bit. We've rationalized it to a point. But it's like, why do you use them that way? Because of your personal experience. Like, what happened specifically like in your life that led you to that view of them, you know? And I know that we've already kind of touched on this, but I'm really trying to get more beyond like your process with these things to the experience of it, because it's like we all share that.
So is this kind of how we've come to think of animals and plants and such in this way, or?
Yeah. Absolutely. So it's like your personal life, how you feel about it, because we've like kind of touched on it, but like this part is where I want to like open people to share experience. So it's like whenever you guys want to talk or whatever you're ready for.
Yeah, I think like
I know it's a hard question. It's very open-ended. So take your time.
Very open-ended, and it's really digging deep into my psyche. You could ask my therapist; he might have some ideas. Really, what shaped my experience of plants, I think, is just like these like day-to-day things. Like, you know, you're in kindergarten and you're learning about like, what do people eat? Well, people eat plants. You like learn that in school. These are like all things that you like learn to talk about, and it's just kind of something that you're brought up with. Like, what are animals for? Animals are for food. Animals are for fun. Animals are for pets. Like, these are...
Animals are for alliteration.
Animals are for alliteration. Alligator. Avocado. Apple.
Aardvark.
Aardvark. Anteater. I'm gonna stop. But I mean, these are things that are just like subliminally programmed into you. I think that says more about like culture than anything.
Yeah.
That you feel the need to like pass this knowledge on in that way. But also it just kind of creates this idea, I think, for humans, that humans are superior.
Yeah.
And we can't learn anything from quote-unquote lesser species. But I think if you're like quiet enough and like approach it the right way, you can learn things from animals and plants. And there's a lot that they can teach you.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. It's because it's like, to be honest, like a lot of my experience with like, and that now we'll just simplify it, nature. We're all from Colorado.
Right.
Half of my family's from Alaska. I'm used to like being outdoors and like communing with these things, you know. And one of the things that like I really am trying to like plan to do, and something that I like really love, and something that like taught my soul a lot, is there's like, and it's such an ancient practice. It's something humans have done forever, but like you can do it recreationally now to break free from the system. And it's this thing called float fishing, which is where you get in a canoe, you chart a course down a river, and just for a few weeks you ride out this river. You get to know the river, you camp along the banks, you catch the fish that you eat. Like, it's probably smart for you to pack extra food, but you really don't have to if you're on the right river. It's honestly not that easy to do on the Colorado River, but up in Alaska, like the rivers up there, it's amazing. Like, so I want to, you know, it's really interesting because I like kind of avoid people in that setting, but I really loved floating down the river with my family, and I got to do it with my parents too, outside of like the Alaskans, because my dad he used to teach at the school, and they would do like a trip with all their seniors to it would usually be like a camping trip or something cool like that. And this was like when I was growing up, and one year we go down the Colorado River, and it's like we go with like his colleagues, and of course like my mom comes, even though she doesn't teach at the school, because it's like in the summer, you know. And we were just, this is like one of my earliest memories as like a kid that I still like hold on to. It's really, really dear to me. Was just floating down the river with my parents, and I was like really lucky to have that. Like it's a really cool experience. If you guys get a chance, like just commune with the river. It's there for you.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how I would answer that question, I guess. Like, so yeah, I love fishing, and I love animals, and I mean, like, until very recently, like, I was vegetarian too, like Matt, and not for like like the poor babies kind of way, but for like on that institutional basis, you know, like where it's like, oh, we're destroying the world with this habit, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to work myself towards vegan. I'm vegetarian right now, but it's definitely the environmental impact, just like...
Right. Well, and that's something that, like, you have to keep in mind is, like, I think, like, the PETA vegans really, like, think that if everybody was vegan, it would solve all the world's problems. I think something to keep in mind is that, first of all, it's a choice. It's not for everybody.
Exactly.
But, like, just reducing your meat makes an impact. You don't necessarily have to be vegan. Because if you look at it, if everybody was being vegan, we'd be clear-cutting rainforests like crazy to farm soy.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah, exactly.
there's a give and take with everything. I think, like, it's my personal choice to be vegetarian because I've never been a big meat eater, but I think when people shame me for that and say I should be vegan, they're not looking at the whole picture and thinking, like, these are both two extremes, like eating a lot of meat and eating a lot of soy and all these other products and almond milk and all that stuff. That's all stuff that, like, is equally detrimental to the environment and farming practices. So when people do that, they're just kind of negating that, and I think it's like there's always a gray area, and it's somewhere in the middle that it's most comfortable.
You do take it back to that primal animal level. We're omnivorous. Like,
Right,
we're
yeah.
evolved to eat both of these things. It's just that...
Well, and it's also because, like, we're all different people.
Yeah.
And it's about, like, addressing, like, your own habits. It has nothing to do with, like, the system and what everybody else is doing. Because you're a creature in this world, too, you know? It's like... that was because it's like... in my blood, it's like I am like somewhat anemic, definitely, you know, I need certain proteins to exist. I get like hypoglycemic super easy, and I don't get like hangry or anything because it's like I am used to it, but at the same time it's like I kind of need to eat meat, like it,
right.
because like when I don't, like my health degrades, like it's, you know, but at the same time it's like, I don't know, I've been like pretty much vegetarian off and on my whole life, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because it's like I push it until like my body can't particularly take it anymore, and then I'm like, oh shit, I need to eat meat again. Like, it's like, oh right, I'm me, and this is my body. It's, you know, it's kind of funny though.
Yeah, I think like it's just one of those things. Like I went to the doctor like about a month back, and I was anemic and had a lung infection. And that is like as a product of like me eating a low iron vegetarian diet. I mean, I'm poor. Like I subsidized myself off of mac and cheese and stuff. I mean, like tofu's cheap, but like I don't know. Like it's different because I just wasn't eating a high iron diet. I wasn't taking care of myself, and I ended up anemic. And it's one of those things that I don't know. It's like it's not for everybody, and
yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know what I'm saying. I'm just kind of talking.
Oh, I mean that's kind of the point.
Yeah, right. It's it's the DoodleCast. It's doodle and talking. Mm-hmm. Heck yeah.
I mean, you got a pro-grade cartoon going on over there, so.
Right. Yeah, this isn't very good. I normally color mine on the computer, but
this isn't very good. He says.
What?
It's looking pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not very good with watercolors. I'm not really a painter, but going with my mistakes, like as Bob Ross would say, it's like a happy little mistake.
Oh, dude.
It's a happy accident.
I'm all about the happy accidents.
Plus,
you
I
know.
don't consider myself much of a visual artist, but you know, I drew a little.
Yeah.
Right. It's all about having fun. It's not about the. Yeah. Oh, it's raining. That's cute.
That's amazing.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah. I don't like water very much. It's okay.
Yeah. Mine says tardigrade.
Man, that's tardigrade. I'm gonna get this black out of this white.
Yes, please. Oh no, now you got some.
No. I'm gonna use my here.
It happens.
I'm sorry, I just really wanted gray for these guys.
It's cool.
I wanted to like take them off of just like pattern, you know. I wanted to start it as abstract as possible. Like I wanted to be like, is he drawing an eye? Is he drawing a vagina? Like, what is he doing? You know.
I hear that.
That's how I approach like a lot of stuff. Like, because I like because part of why I like the whole idea of flora and fauna today is disambiguation, and it's why I'm like really happy both of you guys are on. Speaking of happy accidents, like, because Matt through his anxiety animals, like he's anthropomorphizing things, but when you anthropomorphize something, you also like take away its meaning and take it apart, you know?
Right.
Yeah. And I always like that. This isn't the show about patterns. I'll talk about it more later, guys. But, you know, it's, I think it's a good idea and a helpful thing, you know?
Yeah.
And while we have a little downtime, I'm just going to shout out Anderson. You guys can see him in his podcast, Nothing Explained. He's Samson. Oh my God, Anderson, I'm sorry.
Embarrassing live.
Now you guys know I'm bad with names. So I'm just gonna give you a shout out for running tech. He just grabbed us this.
Heck yeah.
He's been helping us with everything.
I'm just gonna steal
He's an awesome dude. He's sitting right here, and also this is an open invitation. You're welcome to join the conversation anytime, man. So
I think techies are like the unsung heroes of the entertainment world.
Yes.
I mean, because
Star gets all, but it's like really the people that like make their shit sound good.
Yeah.
And stagecraft was actually, in high school, was the only time I actually felt like I was a visual artist, because I was doing paint crew and like doing all the sets and stuff like that. Stagecraft is magic.
Yeah.
Doing
Well, I mean,
magic.
Yeah, how I got into doing art was like print work and running art shows, which is like tech, you know?
Yeah.
And it's it's like it's very informative. It's like, because if you grow up in an orchestra, the thing with the orchestra is it's like super collaborative. It's all about everybody working together in concert. And like there's always, there has to be, there's no room for there not to be. There always has to be like this innate respect, you know? And the people that understand that are like the people that are behind the scenes. You know, they already have that coming into it. Like, it's, if they don't, they should probably do something else, you know? Because they're just going to be really angry and frustrated with people forever. Check this out.
Ooh, that's decent. Some wild
Can I have
stuff.
that? Can I have that towel?
Yeah.
I gotta fix
Clean
my
it off.
mistakes, my mistakes.
Mistakes. Oh yeah. So how you guys feeling? You like where it's developing today?
Yeah, I'm just
That's
turning
alright.
all my mistakes into happy little mistakes.
Yeah.
It's been Doodle Town over here.
Put that back. No, I was
Oh.
showing it to the camera.
Oh lol.
You mentioned it, and
Oh yeah.
an inspiration.
We can
Oh yeah, that's the
there's a
water right
tardigrade.
there.
That's our
Duh.
reference picture. Honestly, a lot of times I try to draw things from memory and without reference. It's something that, like, because I used to do a lot of caricatures, because it's like I used to just like only draw humans, only draw faces, you know, like lots and lots and lots and lots of
Right.
faces.
Ah, shit, I shitted it up. Oh, sorry.
But
Can I
it's
say-
like-
Can I say bad words on
Yeah.
there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting. I
Oh, no,
shouted
dude.
profanities because I was worried about a mistake I made. But again, it's a happy little mistake. I can't let it
I've met an artist before a couple times.
go. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. I'm
That's
gonna
super cool. You guys should
call that done.
look at Matt's screen, because it's great. Like, that background is super funky.
Yeah. I don't know.
Heck yeah.
Tardigrade.
That is tardigrade.
Oops.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try one more tardigrade, but I'm gonna try it with different shapes to start.
I'm gonna draw a water bear.
Yeah. What's a tardigrade? It's a water bear. I'm a water bear.
So these are the bears that I draw for my blog, because like the tagline for it is bears, beats, and benzodiazepine. So I really always end up going back to the bears for the most part. Oh, they're little cute little fat
Oh, these guys are
chubsters.
all cute.
Little chubsters. Little cuties. I'm just gonna do a really quick one because I don't feel like putting the output on my effort. Which is the story of my life. And
Yeah.
why I failed. Kids, don't do what I've done.
I'm always trying to find ways to be lazy, and it's why I'm not lazy. You know?
Yeah, that
Tell
No
me about
truer
it.
words have been
hard to not
spoken.
try.
Tell me about it. Yeah. It's This is gonna be like a weird random shout out, but there's this guy in town, this dude Ben Heyman. He's like a really great printmaker, really amazing with paint. And he does like reclaimed memes. Like he like reclaims things, like pieces of culture, and like makes like fine art memes, pretty much. Like it's really cool. But like that was his whole thing. Like that's kind of where I got that whole approach. He was just like, oh yeah, dude, I'm always. Because I would like watch his stuff, I'm like, wow, it's like ridiculously meticulous. But it was, he's just like, yeah, I just spend all my time trying to find ways to be lazy, you know?
My math teacher in middle school told me that mathematicians are really lazy, so they always just try to find the easiest way to solve an equation or something, and I thought that was really great.
You know what a constipated mathematician does?
What?
Works it out with a pencil.
Oh my god.
Hey!
And my dad's a mathematician, guys.
You totally set me
Well,
up.
now you know what he does.
Yeah.
He's constipated.
Yep. Hey Gus, I hope you appreciate that joke. Well, yeah,
I'm
so
sure
we're...
there's a way you can incorporate some kind of joke about scratch paper in that too.
Lol. Ooh. Oh my. Sounds like that cowboy
Say,
wooden
works
toilet
with
seat
pencil and
thing.
Scratch paper.
Yeah.
Or you
Or
could just say,
why-
what does a mathematician do when he runs out of toilet paper? He
Or
uses
why-
some scratch paper. Is that Don't give me
Well-
pity
Why are
laughs.
constipated mathematicians so frustrated and angry?
Why?
Because they work it out with a pencil and scratch paper.
Yep.
Irritated buttholes, in my opinion.
The itchy and scratchy show.
For all we know, after that whole adventure, there may still literally be a stick up their butt now.
Lol. Boop boo.
I have a question for you, Nick.
Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite plant?
Oh my god. So, you know, I was telling you, like, I used to, like, draw lots of faces exclusively.
Yeah.
So, you know how, like, people like flowers and they're really pretty? So there's, like, this thing, because it's, like, part of why I was, like, really drawn to faces is because there's, like, so many inherent patterns that make, like, faces really easy. Like, so my favorite, because I think of plants as, like, I'm into botany, so I think of plants as, like, very, I would say my favorite flower is the orchid, but my favorite plant currently, because it's like the animal thing, it changes, because it's something I'm addicted to nicotine. I've recently taken up, I planted some tobacco, because tobacco is something humans have been using for, like, thousands and thousands of years, and, like, it's nothing new. But, like, in nature, what tobacco is, what nicotine is it's this thing, like, that the plant produces to keep bugs from eating it. Like, it's a neurotoxin to bugs. They don't fuck with it. Like, nicotine's part of, like, why marigolds are what you use to keep bugs out of your plants. It's just lower concentrations. But I'm really interested right now in rustic tobacco, because there's, like, of course, like, different types, and rustic tobacco is really just referring to, like, tobacco that occurs in nature, because it we're gonna delve into a little bit of drug talk here. Rustic tobacco isn't just, like, nicotine. It contains, like, these alkaloid compounds that aren't opiates, but are, like, pretty similar and dissimilar. So it's, like, chemically you get something different from it. It's not just the nicotine. And, like, the stuff that's in a pre-rolled cigarette, even your American Spirit, it's, even if it's naturally grown, quote unquote, the whole thing is genetically that is a crop called Y1, which is, like, just the fact that it's a letter and a number should tell you enough, because it's that's how it's denoted. But I guess it doesn't tell you enough. I should explain. I mean, I know it tells you enough, but there's other people in the world. It's literally bred and naturally select. Well, I guess that's not the right phrasing. It's, like, bred and selected purely, strictly for nicotine content. But natural tobacco isn't just nicotine. You know, there's more to it than that. You know,
Yeah.
so you get something different from it. If you're smoking, like, natural tobacco, it's, like, a totally different effect, because you know, everything uses something to a certain extent, and it's, like, the awareness of how I use it, you know, is a good thing to think about, and that's why I like having those relationships with plants.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask you that question right back. What's your favorite plant?
I actually do have a consistent answer for this. It's
Yeah.
been consistent for about 3 or 4 years, so that's a change for me. Miss Instability over here. I am really into aspens. I just think they're so fascinating. Because not only do I kind of feel like they're always watching me when I'm going for hikes, which I feel like should freak me out, but I actually think it's really beautiful. Like, I kind of feel like these aspens are just my little hiking buddies. Like, yo, Matilda, we got you. We'll watch you while you're wandering and exploring in our hood. But so yeah, I not only think that they're really gorgeous, and I love the idea that like these eyes in the forest could be watching you and kind of having that sort of anthropomorphization to it, but I also really, really love that they're a network. Which is kind of just the philosophy of how I live my life anyway, and it's probably why I love aspens so much. I actually have a tattoo of some aspen.
It's because you're a real musician.
I'm so addicted to ink and but yeah, so that's kind of been a big piece of my life recently too. And 2017 is the first year that I felt like I am really developing that artistic community that I want, that I know will like help me thrive and help my friends thrive. So I just love that, you know, aspens are such a simple example of that in nature, where they can't work without each other and they can't work without having that network. And that's why you have these beautiful groves that just have these awesome colors in the fall out of nowhere among all the like pine needles and stuff. It's cool. I think they're really beautiful. And it's like you were talking about earlier, there's just a lot that we can learn from plants because they are sages. All they do is grow into these networks and exist and thrive, and then we watch that and kind of extrapolate our own lessons or stories or things from that.
Well, it's like, you know, it's like humans didn't get agriculture from nowhere.
Exactly.
We copied that. You know, it's it is like super cool. And
yeah, it's also like we didn't figure out how to make dog breeds. We just figured out how evolution works and then kind of sped it up and manipulated it. But you know, these are things that have just always been going on, and you figure out how it starts working. And
well, because nature does it too, you know. But it's like we recognize we could do it.
We're just mimicking what nature was doing before we had any awareness of it. I think that's a big piece of it, is that we're aware.
Yeah.
That may end up kind of screwing us over in the end, I don't know. Because then we try to classify things too much.
Yeah, we get in our heads. We get in our heads instead of just like living and like existing with it.
That's honestly like one of my biggest problems, is I have like lots of existential dread. And like I just can't just be a peace of mind.
Yeah.
Like, am I experiencing what other people are experiencing? Do I even exist? Am I just dreaming? Like, what's going on?
The conversation that blew my mind, I think it was the first conversation that just made me go like, whoa, I don't even know what to do right now. I was talking to this girl in my middle school when I was living in New Mexico, and she was like, I mean, how do we even know that we're talking about the same things? How do we even know we're speaking the same language? Yeah, I can look at the sky and tell you that sky is blue. But what if you just heard me say it's green, but I think you heard the same thing and we're on the same page? And I was like, I don't know how to answer that.
And then what about the colorblind dude?
And then the other thing that really blew my mind about it was, you think that too? What?
I think the really crazy thing is like looking at like qualia and like, is like what I see as red, is that what other people see as red?
Yeah.
That's like are they really seeing what I perceive as purple? Like there's no way to know that shit, because you can't, when you describe red, they could think you're describing what they see as red as purple. I'm screwing this up, but that's like one of the things that really trips me out.
I live with my best friend, and I have this one sweater that I swear is brown and they swear is purple.
It's like that dress on the internet a couple years back. Like, is it purple or
oh my god,
gold?
fuck that shit.
But yeah.
Why do I care?
I know. It was just like, because it's like, I like that people are starting to notice these things on the collective level, but at the same time, it's like, the way that they notice it sometimes is like, you know, you guys already know what I'm talking about. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a context to that, yeah. But, yeah, it is weird how perspective works, right? I'm glad that we naturally segued into that. Because I had a whole question prepared to be like, getting towards your perspective on this. And we already touched on it. So, thanks for asking that question.
You're so
wow.
Sorry, I butted in there.
No, it's cool.
No, this is absolutely 100% open. If you have like a weird thought in your head, or even if you have like Tourette's, like I'm not going to judge you. I know Matilda's not going to judge you.
Okay, I have a weird thought in my head. I just want to share it with the world right now. I put my underwear backwards on this morning and I still haven't fixed it yet. So, if you're familiar with men's underwear, there's the whole...
Yeah.
That's on the backside right now, so...
I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna fix that as soon as I leave.
I hope that your digestive system is working just as it should today.
And
is.
for the audience, you guys can't see this, but Matt has a very juicy booty.
I do.
So
I've been complimented on that.
It might, you know, I'm secretly a little envious.
Yeah, there's no need to be envious. You can
Oh
do
no,
anytime you like.
you know, I'm over it. You know, it's like, baby, I love your juicy booty.
More my fan behind for ladies to glance at in pants that are torn. My booty is spectacular, but use a proper vernacular. You could say the Madeira is quite out there. Spank slap it, use it, but don't abuse it. To be honest, it's a booty that rivals Adonis.
Hey.
And we just had a 10-second cipher real quick.
Yeah.
I think that was like 4 bars.
Yeah,
Something like
I think
that.
so. That's about all I can rap.
Nice.
Nice.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Young Money Inky Boy. And we're getting kind of close to the end. I'm pretty sure it's getting close to the hour.
Yeah, you got 6 minutes to an hour.
Yep.
Well,
So this is the last part because you guys helped me and we did the third part without me even having to do the thing I planned. Thank you. Happy accidents.
Yeah.
Nature's great. I love both of you. So this is the last part of the show. You can still doodle. You can still do whatever you want. This man is a water bear, by the way.
Hey,
Yeah.
dude.
I tried doing the opposite of what Matt does. I don't know if it worked entirely, but hey. So this is the last thing I want to ask you guys is, I know that I already had you guys do your bios, but like I want to give you guys the space to like kind of plug what you're working on or like anything you have coming up. So we'll start with Matilda, because I've been doing that because I like counterclockwise. Sorry, I'm weird. But yeah, what do you got coming up?
Cool. So you can see my Instagram handle. It's Wax Lashes. That's my main music project. However, me and a couple of friends just started a band, so that's going to be a thing. It doesn't have a name or anything like that yet, but it's some cool jazz mixed with prog rock and lots of other stuff. It's going to be tough. I've never done anything like this before, but so far the practice sessions have been good. But in terms of Wax Lashes, I actually just released a single on waxlashes.bandcamp.com called Last Call. It's going to be on my album, which I promised myself I'd release before I turn 21, so it will be out before January 31st of next year, in case you all need to know that.
Nice.
So I'm working on that
Absolutely.
album, but some things that are coming up a little bit closer to now, I'll be doing a music video for Last Call, so keep a lookout on that. Like me on Facebook, it's Wax Lashes, at Music by Wax Lashes, or you can find me on Instagram, and that's just at Wax Lashes, all one word.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
Awesome.
come check out
I
my
am
friends.
really excited. Those of you that don't know Wax Lashes, seriously check her out. She's especially in Denver. Not only is she a really great poet and writer, but she's a really good musician too.
Thank you.
amazing.
She sings as well as she plays, and she writes as well as both, and it's amazing. She's been around the guild for years, and she's one of those people where I've been like, I love you being around.
Real quick. I'm just gonna gush about the guild for a minute. 'Cause, I played at a little event to get some money and perishables and stuff together at the Altia Church when Atlas Theater was still there.
Yeah.
A couple of my classmates at East actually started it. And yeah, it was just to raise money and get perishables and stuff to send to the library in Ferguson back in 2014. And I played at that. It was co-hosted by the Black Actors Guild, the lovely John Shockness, aka Kid
Astronaut.
I love you, John.
I love you too, John. I haven't seen you in too long.
Mics with the Black Actors Guild.
Yeah.
I got into the music scene, so I actually definitely credit the guild. for getting me into the scene in Denver
Yeah.
and helping support me in my music. So thank you all. I love you all so much.
Well,
I'm really
it's-
stoked to be working with you guys.
I'm
now.
so happy that you're like formally part of our because like this is my family, you know, and I'm so because it's like you have been like informally for years, you know, and it's the same with Matt because it's like you're intrinsically part of me, dude, you know.
Yeah, thanks.
And yeah, so with that being said, it's just like I love both of you. Welcome. This is great. Matt, what you got coming up?
Well, a couple things. I'm going to be writing some songs. I'm not really a musician, so I'm actually outsourcing it to Wax Lashes or Matilda. If
And
you wanna
anybody
look-
interested?
Yeah, or anybody interested. So if you know them, you can talk to the Black Actors Guild, and we're going to be outsourcing some songs for a YouTube channel called Massive Phobia, and we're going to be writing some like funny, folksy songs about phobias. So we've started working on that. And as for like things going on with my Instagram, you can find me at anxiety_animals on Instagram. And recently, I just made the jump to full color, which was kind of anxiety inducing because I really was attached to my black and white aesthetic, but I realized there's just so much more I can do with color on there. So and I don't color them with pencils, I color them on digital devices. Yes.
Yeah, so you can find these. A lot of them are colored, but they're not colored in real life. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, so like this is one that's going to be posted today. It's Hungry Hungry Hippo Pizza Now.
Keep the hold up again.
Hungry Hungry Hippo Pizza Now.
Lower.
There we go.
Maybe a little lower, yeah.
There we go.
Oh, so
that's
good.
one. It's actually on my story right now, but I'm going to post it later today, just talking about my pizza addiction, because I do make a lot of frozen pizzas. Unhealthy enough. This is one that I posted yesterday. Hey, sexy. I talked about relationships and mental health.
Nice.
Yeah. That's supposed to be a self-portrait of me in front of a fire. So, but these are just little doodles that I do. And it's fun if you're struggling with mental health issues. It can certainly. I found a community of support on Instagram that has really helped me, and some really wonderful people that have reached out to me.
No, it's like I've been like watching it the whole time, and I love you so much. It runs deep.
Yeah,
so I know I'm biased, but I love what you're doing. Like it's super cool because you're taking an approach that like it's super ancient but non-traditional too.
Right, exactly.
And it gives so much space for people, and I really respect that. And you do that too, Matilda. So it's like it's been really great talking with you guys and having you guys on. Like,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I really like the way this worked out.
Yeah, thanks.
And this is the DoodleCast. We're in here every Sunday, every week. So we are weekly. We like to keep it light, keep it fresh. And at the very end of the show, because this is part of the philosophy of the show, I invite either of you back to co-host next week. And we'll feature a different artist. It'll be somebody new. But because I want artists to have the space to interact with each other in ways that they aren't normally. So if either of you want to come back and co-host next week, you're absolutely welcome, and the invite is out there. You're not obligated to.
Okay.
If you have a life, which I think since we're talking and breathing and stuff, you do.
I'm not sure about that. Yeah.
It's like, totally understand.
Yeah.
I'd be down to spend another Sunday of my life.
Yeah, and absolutely.
I would be down to do that
And
too.
it doesn't even necessarily need to be next week.
Yeah.
Totally open. If I ever need a co-host, I'll let you know. And you guys are both always welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks from across the table. Okay, cool.
Love you guys. This has been really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And this is the DoodleCast. Everybody have a great groovy day. Keep arting on and keep on arting. It's important. Let's save the culture. Peace and love. C'est fini.